Oh, hello everyone. My name is Shameel Shuib, and today we are going to spend our next half an hour talking about something that I think is the most important challenges that we face in the education today. We are going to look at how we can use the 6C elements of the KPPP frameworks to really drive social mobility. If you are not familiar with them, we are talking about the elements of character, citizenship, collaboration, creativity, communication, and also critical thinking. My goal today is to walk you through the impact of these tools. We will explore the bright side where we see this incredible potential for students to rise up and change their lives. But we also have to be honest and look at the shadow side, which includes the real world risks and the pressures that educators and students might have to navigate in this 2026 era. Before we get into the how, let's just take a second to talk about what we actually mean by social mobility. At its heart, it is simply the movement of people or families to the different layers of our society. It is the yardstick that we use to measure how much someone's life changes compared to where they started. In a perfect world, where you start should not limit where you end up. Your parents' income or the neighborhood you grew up in should not be a ceiling on your potential. But the reality is that social structure can be pretty stubborn. To see how the 6 C's can break those patterns, we first need to look at the two main ways people actually move in the society. First, we have what we call vertical mobility. You can think of this like a ladder. Upward vertical mobility is what we all hope for our students. It is when someone moves into a higher social class. A great example of this would be a child whose parents work in manual labor but who goes on to become a surgeon or lead architect because they mastered things like communication and also critical thinking. They have climbed that ladder. On the flip side, downward vertical mobility is when someone loses that status, maybe because their skills did not keep up with the changing market. Then there is horizontal mobility. This is more like a sidestep. It is when you move to a new job or a new role, but you stay in the same social layer. Think of a teacher who moves into corporate training. Their daily life changes, but their social standing stays about the same. While this sidestep happens all the time, our real focus with the 6 C's is to help students make that vertical jump. We want to give them the social capital that they need to reach a completely new level. To really understand why we need this change, we have to look at the sociology of the classroom. There are some brilliant researchers like Thomas Boronsky and also Nasima Hassan who have pointed out something quite sobering. They argue that schools often act like a mirror instead of changing a student's path. The system sometimes just reflects the class they were born into. They call this as social reproduction. If a student comes from a home that already have the cultural capital, things like professional networks, a certain way of navigating high-level conversation, or the latest tech, they tend to sail right through. But if they don't have that head start, they can really struggle. The 6C framework is our way to disrupting the cycle. It is about moving past the old idea that hard work alone is enough and instead giving students the actual insight skill that the upper class usually inherits. Hey, 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 hey! Where do you think you are going? Where do you think you are going? No, 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 no. You cannot go anywhere. You have to come with me. No, like I said at the start of the video, we still have 30 minutes to talk about this. You still don't know the positive impact of the social mobility. So just stay with me until the end, okay? You cannot go back home yet.
Bruh.
Let's talk about the good stuff. The first big positive impact is how we can democratize social capital. For a long time, elite schools had this hidden curriculum where they taught kids how to network and how to pitch their ideas. By bringing collaboration and communication elements into the daily life of every single student, we are finally giving everyone the language of power. The impact is just huge. Imagine a student from a working class background walking into a high pressure interview. Because of this training, they can speak with the same confidence and clarity as someone from a private academy. They aren't just memorizing facts anymore. They are becoming the kind of person that our modern economy is looking for. The second impact is all about building their inner strength. Let's be real. Growing up in the world is emotional imposter syndrome. Belong in your new environment. By focusing on character, we are giving students the emotional grit that they need to keep going when things are intimidating. On top of that, citizenship elements also helps them look past their own backyard. A lot of students feel trapped geographically because they only see low-wage job in their immediate area. This framework tells them that the world is their market. It shifts their perspective so they can look for opportunities in the global digital economy and leapfrog over those local barriers. This really fits with the global vision of empowering students to be players on the world stage. The third positive impact is economic agility. We know that routine jobs are being automated faster than ever. If we only teach students how to follow instructions, we are basically keeping them stuck in low income roles. But creativity and critical thinking change that. They allow students to become value creators, whether they solve a problem in their own community through a small business or innovative inside a big company. They are moving from being someone who just take orders to someone who makes opportunities. That is the ultimate engine for moving up the social ladder. But I want to be completely honest with you. It is not all sunshine and rainbows. We have to talk about the negative impacts too. The six C's, especially things like citizenship and creativity element, rely so much on having the right digital tools. In a lot of places, there is a massive resource gap. If you bring these amazing tools into a high-tech city school, but leave a rural school with nothing, you aren't helping mobility. You are actually making the gap wider. We run the risk of creating a new underclass of students who have all the potential in the world, but just don't have the right tools to show it. There is also a psychological cost that we don't talk about enough. Some research suggests that when we push students to move up, we sometimes accidentally push them to drop their own culture and adopt middle class traits just to fit in. This can lead to a real identity crisis. Students might feel that they have to leave their dialect, their community roots, or their family traditions behind to be successful. That is a heavy price to pay. We have to be careful that mobility doesn't feel like losing who you are. Finally, there is a sheer pressure of it all. As these 60 skills become the new global standard, the competition to be the best get intense. We see students burning out because they are trying to be the perfect citizen, the perfect collaborator, and also the perfect innovator all at once. If we turn these skills into just another checklist for a resume, they lose their meaning. They stop being empowering and just become another source of deep anxiety.
So, where does that leave us? I believe the impact of social mobility through the six C's is still a huge net positive. But we have to handle it with care. We have to make sure this education is inclusive and respects where students come from. Like many educational leaders say, The best way forward is to make sure our drivers for success include the whole system, not just the lucky few. When we focus on equity, the benefits of building this social and intellectual capital far outweigh the risks. At the end of the day, education should be the wind in a student's sail, not an anchor holding them back. By using this framework and keeping a close eye on fairness, we can actually keep the promise we make to our students. We can ensure that every child, no matter where they start, has a real, fair shot at reaching the stars. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today.